Hello, everybody. Welcome back. This is the first session, I guess, of the NerdTalk podcast. I'm here with my trusted host, Alex, and our special guest, Ryan, from the Kind of Everything podcast. And, yeah, Ryan.
Hello, everybody.
If you wanted to give a quick plug of your podcast, it's totally fine.
Well, we gave the name. That's pretty much all that I need.
Oh, there you go. We're good.
Alright, so, like I said, welcome to the first session of our NerdTalk podcast. Now, as you all know, Comic-Con just happened in San Diego, and one of the more talked about topics was the Deadpool trailer, which was incredible, really well done.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the voice acting, it's just a 2-minute snippet, so we really didn't get a whole lot, but from what we did, the voice was good. You know, they kept true to the Deadpool character, and overall, I think if they make a movie out of it, it'd be amazing.
Yeah. Though I think Fox took down the trailer because I couldn't find it again.
Yeah, what I noticed is I looked and I searched, Deadpool trailer, and most of the Deadpool trailers I was finding was for the Deadpool game that came out last year.
Mm-hmm.
I managed to find it, but it took some extensive searching. So, if you're gonna watch
I had the same problem.
Hurry up, or it's all gonna be gone.
Yeah, I had to watch it from, some guy had filmed it, because he was there when they revealed it, and he just put the video of the video on his YouTube channel.
Yeah, that's what I saw.
Yeah. But anyways, thoughts from you guys?
I was really glad that they broke the fourth wall during that trailer, because that's a lot of what Deadpool is known for, you know?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's what I was really worried about. I was worried that they were not going to be able to make a Deadpool movie, keep it funny, but still keep it in the realms of, I don't know, mature, I guess.
Well, yeah, I mean, the Deadpool game, that'd be a perfect movie. That's what the Deadpool movie should be.
Yeah, well, I wouldn't make it a direct game-to-movie adaptation.
Oh, right. But the way they made the game, that's the way the movie should go. It should be, it should have its moments of seriousness, but it should also have a ton of humor in it as well.
Right,
And they should definitely make it an R-rated movie, because that's the way that Deadpool's.
Yeah,
that's the way it should
that's
be.
the way he is.
Yeah. You can't make him into like a PG-13 Guardians of the Galaxy Avengers kind of thing, you know?
No, not at all.
That's a topic for another discussion. But I was really impressed with the action sequence inside the car.
Oh yeah,
they did that really well, and I was a little sad when it ended. I was really wanting more out of it, but
My question is whether or not they're gonna make him all gross under the suit like he is in the comics, or if they're gonna try and get Ryan Reynolds to just look like Ryan Reynolds.
Well,
if they try and make Ryan Reynolds look like Ryan Reynolds, it's really gonna take away from the feel of Deadpool.
Yeah.
Well, there's a couple problems with that whole thing in the first place. First of all, Ryan Reynolds isn't going to return as Deadpool.
Isn't he?
I've been following a lot of it because I just watched X-Men Origins Wolverine. Deadpool's in that movie. But
it's the weird closed-mouth Baraka Deadpool.
Yeah, but Ryan Reynolds says he's not returning for a Deadpool movie. They're going to recast him. And I don't know if you watched all the way to the end of X-Men Origins, and I mean the very end credit scene after all the credits had rolled.
Yeah.
If you haven't, it shows Deadpool, his head separated from his body, but he opens his eyes and he puts he makes a shushing sound. His mouth opens and he makes a shushing sound. So I wonder if that's going to be if that's a possible setup, or
maybe.
I'm really hoping that if they make this Deadpool movie, it's not in the same universe as X-Men Origins, because that was horrible. Like, other than before he had the Weapon 11 program in him, that was just a horrible version of Deadpool.
Yeah.
The laser vision and the teleporting and stuff.
Yeah, I wasn't when I first saw the movie. I wasn't familiar with Deadpool, so I had no idea what that was.
Me neither.
But then after doing research and stuff, I'm like, no, that's not Deadpool.
Like, I even knew about Deadpool. I just didn't make the connection that was supposed to be Deadpool in the movie. Exactly. I was just like, well, who's this guy?
Well, I'm not gonna lie to you. I have never watched X-Men Origins Wolverine. I have not. Really need to. But I have but I have seen that version in the X-Men Origins game that came out. Wasn't much better than the movie, from what I hear. In fact, it was horrible.
Movie games are never that good, though. To be honest, they're always really short in gameplay and kind of cheap, just because they're relying on the movie to sell it.
Yeah, it's just cashing in on the success, I guess.
Yep.
But
another problem. Oh, go ahead.
Honestly, though, I thought Ryan Reynolds did a actually really fantastic job as Deadpool in that trailer. Now, if they did bring him back, whether he could pull it off throughout an entire, 2-hour movie, is yet to be seen. But still, I think he did a fantastic job.
Yeah, he did a really good job in the X-Men Origins. Like I said before, they put the Weapon 11 in him, like in that little appearance at the very beginning. He was great, he didn't have the suit on.
Yeah, as Wade Wilson, he was fantastic, but as Deadpool, he sucked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I were him, I would do the new Deadpool movie just to kind of clear my name, because he's had some bad superhero experience between Baraka, Deadpool, and Green Lantern.
Yeah, Green Lantern is one that pops right off my head. That one.
I'm not even going to see it. I've been told it sucked, and I don't even care for DC much anyway, so I'm not even going to see it.
I saw it because Green Lantern is like my favorite of all the heroes, and I knew that it was bad walking in, but I just had to see it for the Green Lantern fandom, and it was terrible.
And Alex, I would tread on light water there. I wouldn't really bring up any discussions like that as of yet.
Yeah, I know. We're still young. But one of my other big problems with the Deadpool movie, since Deadpool is X-Men and X-Men is owned by Fox, you can't get the Deadpool Spider-Man interaction that I would love to see in a movie.
Yeah,
that would be great.
That's the thing that I really wanted. And it's not just X-Men, it's really all mutants, really.
Well, Deadpool is I don't know if he originated in X-Men, but he's in that universe. That's what he interacts with the most, is Wolverine and the X-Men.
Right. In the comics, he has like 6 different origin stories. I forget which one he has in the modern comics, but there's some where he's Weapon 11 and some where he was like just born that way, and some where he's some kind of freakish inbred or whatever.
But
I don't know what the
fact
current one is.
That in every single one, he loves pancakes.
Every single one.
Chimichangas
and pancakes. Have you seen? There was like a Deadpool versus comic where he ran into Daredevil, and they showed what Daredevil saw. And it was just this big clump of stink lines in the shape of Deadpool. And like the little narration bubble from Daredevil is like, it smells like he's got week old chimichanga in his utility belt. Why does he have that?
Yeah. I would not be surprised if he did.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds a lot like Deadpool.
Deadpool's a lot of why I started reading the Thunderbolts comics. I don't know if you guys are familiar with those, but like it's this team of anti-heroes. But 90% of why I read it is the Punisher and Deadpool, when they interact, it is hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh, Deadpool, the Punisher would be great.
That would be awesome.
Vance, you were asking me a couple days ago when we were throwing this idea around for Deadpool of who would play the villain in it, or who would be the villain in a Deadpool movie.
Yeah.
And well, first you got to realize that Deadpool is a mercenary. He's hired out to kill people. So really, anybody with a lot of power could be the quote unquote villain, depending on who's dead. But also, in the video game, you fight Mr. Sinister.
Right.
So that could be a potential.
Maybe.
I'm not really sure who else could be a villain because I'm not familiar with any Deadpool villains unless Ryan is.
Now that I think about it, I can't really think of any specific Deadpool villains. Like you said, he's a mercenary. I just kind of see him fight other villains and heroes.
Yeah, I've read one of the Deadpool comics, and from what I saw, he gets shipwrecked on an island. He just fights a bunch of dudes on the island, and I never really find out who the villain is. So maybe Mr. Sinister really is the only option for a good game-to-movie transition, or, since he is a mercenary, he could go out and fight anyone, really. But
yeah, I mean, I'm watching PewDiePie play the Deadpool game right now.
Shameless promotion.
Yeah, well, that's what I was doing before the call. But at the point that I'm at, Deadpool's just trying to assassinate some really big media guy. So it really doesn't matter who it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. What they might do is they could take like a lesser villain from some of the other comics, like Major or something, and have
Yeah.
to assassinate him. Like any other definitely doesn't have the rights signed off to anyone else.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's a topic for another discussion.
And the Deadpool movie has been speculated for so many years now. Everybody wants it since X-Men Origins came out. What was that? 2009?
Yeah.
Is that when that came out?
I think so.
I'm pretty sure. I'm going to go 2009. But, it's been since 2009. Everyone's like, okay, where's our Deadpool movie? We need a Deadpool movie. So when do you guys think we're going to be actually getting a Deadpool movie?
It's hard to tell. I've taken a look on some of the articles I've seen, and it shows their lineup for the next maybe 10 years.
Yeah.
And Deadpool is nowhere on that list, but obviously that's because it's not really confirmed, but sort of is. So I'd expect to see it maybe 2017, maybe 2016.
Yeah, I could see that. Because Marvel movies are at a point where they can make anything into a Marvel movie and people see it because Marvel has their name on it.
Yeah.
That's all of why Guardians of the Galaxy got a movie. So I could definitely see Deadpool getting one. Yeah, 2017 sounds pretty good. My question though is are the licensing rights signed over to? I forget who made X-Men Origins, but are they counting that rendition of Deadpool as they now have the rights?
I think Fox does have the rights to Deadpool, and if anyone does make a Deadpool movie, it's going to be Fox.
Yeah, because since Deadpool is considered a mutant, all mutants are owned by Fox.
Yeah, they own the entire X-Men universe, and Deadpool is in. But then again, that really sucks because a ton of superheroes, interact with each other throughout Marvel.
Yeah, but Marvel isn't really too good at mixing the X-Men and the Avengers anyway. When they did Avengers versus X-Men in the comics, that was almost as big a deal as DC versus Marvel because it was just so weird that they were interacting.
And and there's such big universes that are colliding. It makes for an incredible storyline. Now, whether that would translate into a good movie or not is yet to be seen.
Yeah.
I would sell my soul for a Deadpool movie.
Well,
Me too.
Yeah. I could think of a lot of people who would.
Yeah, so could I.
My question is whether or not, because they didn't really reveal this in the trailer. Deadpool has multiple voices in his head that talk to him. Are they going to do that in the movie?
I hope they do, because they do it in the game, and I'm kind of basing the movie off the game. I know that's a bad idea.
Yeah.
The Deadpool game is pretty amazing.
It is. I'm just kind of concerned about that whole idea. If they do decide to go with the whole voice in the head, I'm worried that it might take away the feel of we got to keep up the serious attitude, but yet the funny mood. The voices are going to try and take away from that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, but his voices are just so great. They're like an anti-moral compass.
Yeah.
Deadpool is an
and
anti-moral
the voices.
compass.
Yeah. Well, the voices change a lot too in the comics. There are some where one of them is his brain cancer lump that's talking to him, and one is just because he's crazy. And in the most modern, he's got his voice, and then the S.H.I.E.L.D. agent that died, and they put her inside of him because they wanted to keep her more or less alive. And she's a black woman, so now all that he does is make Tyler Perry jokes because he has a sassy black woman living in his head.
Oh, that's great.
That's awesome. That is amazing.
The voice in his head for the Deadpool game, I keep bringing this up, but I'm going to keep bringing it up, is he's like the video game narrator. He's telling him how to play the game and everything. And it's the greatest way to break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
It is. But yeah.
And that's one thing I'm also worried about is how they're going to break the fourth wall in the movie.
And still keep it in the realm of realism.
Exactly.
In movie terms.
Because breaking the fourth wall is difficult, and especially for a movie of that magnitude.
Yeah. People have been getting kind of concerned that DC is trying to rip off Deadpool's mannerisms in the new Harley Quinn comics.
Yeah, I can see that.
'Cause they had I
Yeah.
don't know if you've read it, but they had this Harley Quinn annual #1 where she goes to Comic-Con and she knows that she's in a comic, and she breaks the fourth wall at almost every other panel in that.
Yeah.
And she does just a lot of Deadpoolish things, and people are like, well, how far are they going to take this?
Well, the thing I see with that is Harley Quinn is not a character that I would A, expect to break the fourth wall, B, want to break the fourth wall, and C, should ever break the fourth wall.
Yeah.
Because out of all the characters in the DC universe, why Harley Quinn? What makes her so special to break the fourth wall? Only a few select characters have the correct personality to really pull that off. And in my opinion, Harley is not one of them.
Yeah, I think that they're trying to kind of take advantage of... Because Harley's been getting some pretty big fame because apparently in the modern Green Arrow comics, she's been just hilarious. And I guess they're trying to kind of piggyback off of that.
Mhm.
The companies are always ripping each other off. I'm pretty sure that's what DC's trying to do. They're just looking at Deadpool and saying, we want to make that kind of money off of that.
Well, looking at the situation, you guys have heard of the Batman Arkham series games, right?
Oh, yeah.
I've played them all.
I'm still working on Origins. Well, in the first two, Arkham Asylum and Arkham City, Harley is an incredible character. She has a lot of character development. She lets you know how they write the dialogue and the script so well that she's just a fantastic character in those games and a great antagonist.
Mm.
So.
Now, I know this whole conversation is about Deadpool, but since we mentioned DC, I just wanted to rant real fast. Even though I am excited because they're releasing that Gotham TV show.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I'm excited for that.
Which I do want to see. Yeah, so badly. It just looks so great. But my main problem with it is, first of all, Marvel already released Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. And I'm fairly certain that Gotham is a setup to Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice, which is what it's called, if you've been following that.
Yeah. And
I think Gotham is supposed to, lead up to that, kind of like Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. leads up to Captain America 2, and then other Marvel projects.
Right.
But I just
while we're on this topic, The Flash. How do you make a TV show out of The Flash?
They've done it before, actually. He used to have a live-action show back in the 90s.
Yeah, you could do a show with The Flash.
Yeah.
Well, they're making one.
Hard.
And I'm not saying I expect it to flop or anything. I'm actually really excited for it because I do like The Flash. In fact, I think he's probably one of the most underrated superheroes. Nobody even attempts to make a game. You don't really hear about him a lot in the comics, except So I'm excited to see how this TV show runs.
See, my question, I know that they're making the Flash be in the same universe as Arrow because he went into the coma that makes him into the Flash in one of the episodes of Arrow. But my thing is whether or not Gotham is going to be in the same universe as those two shows. Because if that's the case, then Green Arrow is already an adult when Bruce Wayne is a teenager, and that's going to be kind of a weird contradiction there.
Arrow is on CW, right? Is that the channel it airs on?
Yeah.
Yep.
And Gotham's going to be also on CW?
I thought that was on Fox.
Is it Fox?
Yeah, it's on Fox.
I couldn't remember. So I don't know. That's a good question.
And I heard that in Barry Allen was in Arrow a lot before he was Flash, and apparently in the Flash show they're going to have half of Firestorm. I don't know what his name is. Make a lot of appearances, and I guess later Firestorm will become a thing.
Oh, that's cool.
That's neat. We are way off topic.
Yeah, I kind of figured that was going to happen. Deadpool. Well, see, there's not enough information around the Deadpool movie to completely discuss right now.
Right.
Which is why I was, this is going to become sort of a future of superhero movies kind of thing. Where are they taking it?
Right, and on that. Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say the superhero movie genre is the biggest moneymaker for Hollywood right now.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. But on that topic, as I was looking at a character list with Alex the other day, and for both DC and Marvel, and I noticed that Marvel has a huge character list. DC is a very it's an okay sized character list, but I mean it can fit in maybe in a page or two that I print out of my printer. Marvel would take 10 pages just to list off all their characters because they have so many. So Marvel is going to be a big powerhouse in the movie industry for quite a few years to come.
Marvel's not going anywhere.
You see, the thing with Marvel though is they don't get rid of characters as much. Like DC has had a lot of characters, but a lot of them just don't appear anymore. Like if you read really old Superman comics, there are two characters named the Guardian and Gangbuster, and they used to be like the Flash and Aquaman level heroes, but now they're just gone because they decided to move on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Marvel's really done that as much.
No.
And another reason why Marvel is is going to make more money in the movie industry than DC is because Marvel isn't afraid to take risks.
Oh,
No.
Everyone wants to see a Wonder Woman movie, but DC's like, we don't know how to do that. We have no idea how we should go about.
Well, to be fair, look at their track record. Everything they've done Wonder Woman has been pretty terrible.
Yeah, but a Wonder Woman movie could work. They could do it if they did it right, because the Dark Knight trilogy was pretty good. Man of Steel wasn't bad. It wasn't the best, but it was pretty darn good.
I think it all depends on you have to find the right director. If the Dark Knight trilogy had been directed by somebody other than Christopher Nolan, it very well might have sucked.
Yeah,
and as we all know, they're some of the best movies that DC has put out.
So the thing that bugs me is DC sits there and goes, well, Wonder Woman's too complicated for her own movie. And then Marvel says, here, we have a talking tree and a raccoon with a shotgun.
Yeah.
Just check it out. Like, it's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And they're cramming a lot of heroes and villains into Batman vs. Superman. Have you heard about that?
Yeah, I have, actually. I've been kind of keeping up with that as well.
I haven't heard too much. I heard that they're going to try and put Wonder Woman in it. But other than
they got Wonder Woman in it, Cyborg, Aquaman, and like 6 different villains, apparently.
Cyborg?
It's ridiculous.
Dude.
Yeah, Cyborg's going to be in it. I don't get how that works.
Cyborg, I love Cyborg. He's amazing.
Yeah.
Like,
Cyborg's cool. My only problem is that Green Lantern isn't in it because he needs a reboot after that Ryan Reynolds flop.
Yeah.
I think what they're trying to do is just make they're trying to make Justice League without calling it Justice League.
Yeah. Because they know that they can't make individual movies from a lot of the like no one's going to go see the Martian Manhunter movie, you know?
Yeah. Not to mention the fact that if they did that, people start to think they're trying to rip off Marvel, giving individual, origin stories for the Justice League and then culminating it together to make one big movie, like Marvel did at the Avengers.
Yeah.
But I was just curious, is the Batman that's in this movie, is that like, I know it's not the same actor, but is it the same quote-unquote Batman?
No, they did a reboot with that because Batman faked his own death at the end of Dark Knight Rises.
I was going to say.
Yeah, they knew that they couldn't do the same Batman, so they're just going to put the Dark Knight trilogy off in its own little world.
Well,
kind of like the X-Men movies.
Well, hold up. At the end of the Dark Knight, at the end of that movie, he faked his own death, but then there was the cop, cannot remember his name, who found the Batcave.
Oh, you mean Nightwing?
Is that Nightwing?
That is Nightwing. It's supposed to symbolize his name is Blake. I think that was his name, wasn't it?
Yeah, but I don't think he was going to be Nightwing, though, because Nightwing is Dick Grayson. I thought that was just supposed to be like a little homage, because at the end they were like, oh, you should use your legal name, Robin. Like, I think that was just more of a kind of tongue-in-cheek thing than it was
okay,
we're going to have a Nightwing movie now.
But the name, his birth name, is actually one of the Robins in the comics.
See,
I forget what it was, though.
I'm trying to think. I can't think of the second Robin. The first
Jason
Todd, and then there's Tim Drake, right?
Yep. And then there was also Damian Wayne.
That's right.
And I think there was also a female Robin for a little while, but for some reason people don't count her in the main Robins.
There is a comic book called The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah.
That's where she is. She's in The Dark Knight Returns.
Then there's also DK2 where they have Bobcat, who's like the new sidekick, but she doesn't call herself Robin.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
So, we just went from Deadpool to Batman. Yay.
Yeah. You know, sticking with the hero movie thing, you know what I think the worst choice for a superhero actor was? Even worse than Ryan Reynolds as Green Lantern?
Who?
Nicolas Cage as Ghost Rider.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah,
I
That
haven't-
was just horrible.
I haven't even seen Ghost Rider because I refuse.
Don't see it. It's
No.
not worth your time.
yeah,
He can't do Ghost Rider. I can't see it.
He's too monotone. Like Ghost Rider's whole thing is his non-stop temper, you know. And
Yeah.
Nicolas Cage is all calm, and he treats it kind of like it's a werewolf thing. Like he doesn't want to be Ghost Rider, but sometimes he just has to be.
Yeah.
yeah. That's,
It's like that. It was just wrong.
It's kind
I
of.
think a good runner-up for worst actor for superhero is Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
bad. I can't believe they got 3 movies out of that.
I know. That makes me mad.
That was why they rebooted it so fast. They had all the equipment around for Spider-Man 4, and then Spider-Man 3 did terrible as it should, and they were like, well, let's just change actors and reboot.
That's a good thing they did because those are some pretty good movies. Although I haven't seen the second one.
It's
pretty good.
I haven't seen the second one either.
The villains were a little bit cheesy, but I mean, it was Green Goblin and Rhino and stuff. They're just cheesy by nature, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
That
They
is
also
true.
had They also had Electro, but he was actually less cheesy than he is in the comics.
That's cool.
I like Electro. He's a cool
Yeah.
villain.
They made him look really different in this one. Like, you know how in the comics he has like the green suit with the lightning bolts on it?
Yeah.
In the movie, he's this guy. He was a black guy,
Yeah.
and then he fell into this pit with electric eels, and he became all blue-skinned and
Yeah, I've seen what it
freaky
looks
looking.
like.
You gotta love
Yeah.
some of these origin stories. He fell into a giant vat that contained electric eels, and he became Electro Logic.
Yeah.
But you just
That
gotta
makes sense.
Sometimes you just gotta stop questioning them and just go with it.
Yeah. That's what they did with Rhino, too, because everyone hates Rhino in the comics because he's this big, ridiculous rhinoceros man. But in the movie, they made it like there was just a regular guy, and then the Rhino was like a big armor suit thing that
Yeah.
looked like a rhinoceros.
Now I'm gonna say
I
I
see
used
that
to
too.
I used to have this Spider-Man game on my Game Boy, and Rhino was the most obnoxious villain to fight in that game. He was like
Yeah.
so ridiculous.
Well, he's kind of like Juggernaut in a way. He can run through a mountain and just come out the other side. Like, well, I don't know if the Amazing Spider-Man 2 Rhino can do that, but in the comics he could because he was so big and bulky that it was hard to stop him.
Right.
The Amazing Spider-Man 2 Rhino, he really didn't do much. Like, you know in the trailer when Spider-Man is jumping in the air and he's got the manhole cover on the web and he's like swinging it around to deflect missiles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is the very last scene of the movie, and that's the very first moment that Rhino appears. And like right before the manhole cover hits the Rhino head, they just cut to black, and those are their credits.
So maybe that's the villain for the next one.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, they kind of set it up like there's going to be another one, and we'll have these 3 villains in it.
I mean, I haven't
Now-
seen the second one,
oh.
but you can't just end a movie like that and not make a third one.
Oh, you know they're going to.
They didn't exactly like the thing with Rhino. They didn't set it up like he is now a major new thing. They set it up like Spider-Man's back and he's better than ever. Like
Yeah.
that kind of a happily ever after scenario. But there's definitely going to be another one.
Yeah.
Like they showed when Green Goblin got his stuff. They showed this room with all the technology in it. And they had like the Vulture wings and the Doctor Octopus arms and stuff just kind of hanging around. Like it's
Yeah.
pretty clear they're going big with
Yeah.
this.
Yeah. All right, so we're running out of time here. So final thoughts, gentlemen.
Just gonna again give a quick plug to Ryan's podcast, which I'll put a link to on the Facebook page.
And I'll put a
It's
link
the
in the
Kind of
YouTube.
Everything podcast.
I'll put a link
Awesome.
in the YouTube as well. And
Awesome.
so we're gonna be trying something a little different than what we said we were. Instead of asking for suggestions, we're gonna leave you with 2 options, and I'll leave a poll in the description below that you can go to check that out. And our options are for what do you want us to discuss next week. The options are some of the best superpowers, or the upcoming Smash Brothers. There will be a poll link in the description. Go check that out. And whichever gets the highest number of votes, we'll talk about that next week. And the one that didn't win will come back in the next poll, and we'll just keep going like that. And yeah.
If we don't get a vote by next week, obviously we're just going to go ahead and pick the topic.
Yeah.
And one final thing, if you do want to be a guest on our podcast, definitely drop us a line on the Facebook page, and we'll try to get you set up.
We're always looking for guests, and we're always looking for other opinions for our little group here. So, and a Skype account.
That's...
So, link in the description, and subscribe. And remember to check out Ryan's Kind of Everything podcast. Link will be in the description.
We are available on iTunes.
Yes, they are on iTunes. They're on SoundCloud. You can find them on their own page. It's a well worth the listen. And I'm not just saying that because I was on an episode once, but still, they are very funny. You can't go wrong with their podcast. It's a great podcast. I like it a lot.
All right. So until next week.
All right.
Stay nerdy.
Ryan, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Yep. All right. That's it.
All right.
Bye.